You ever hear a new artist and just think, wow, where did they come from? It feels like they just appeared out of nowhere, right? Like magic. But the truth is, behind almost every big music star, there's someone pulling the strings, a key player who saw the spark before anyone else. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these incredible gatekeepers of the music industry.
So who are these people? I mean, really, who are the ones with that golden ear, whose entire job is to find the next big thing and help turn raw, amazing talent into a global sensation?
Well, they're called A&R reps. A&R, that stands for Artists and Repertoire. And their job is honestly one of the most fascinating and maybe one of the most high-stakes roles in the entire creative world. They're part talent scout, part creative guide, and the absolute essential link between an artist and a record label.
But okay, what does an A&R rep actually do all day? It's so much more than just going to cool gigs or listening to demos. It's a whole process. So let's break down their playbook.
Now, check this out. What you're looking at here is actually from a real university course on the music business, and it gives us this perfect, clear breakdown of the job. You can see it's split into two main parts, the core responsibilities and then this other thing called the mandate. We're definitely going to get to the mandate in a bit, but first, let's unpack those responsibilities.
So, the whole job pretty much boils down to three big stages, right? And they follow the artist's entire journey. It kicks off with discovery, then it moves into the creative part, the studio, and then finally, it all leads up to the big launch. Let's take a look at each one.
All right, so stage one, finding talent. This is exactly what you probably picture when you think of a talent scout. They're out there scouring clubs, digging through blogs, obsessing over playlists. They're always on the hunt, trying to identify and sign brand new artists. But here's something you might not think about. A big part of their job is also signing established artists, maybe someone they think could have a huge comeback or go in a totally new direction.
So once an artist is signed, the A&R rep's job completely changes. They go from being a scout to being a creative partner. Now they're deep in the recording process. This is where they play matchmaker. They've got to pair their artist with the perfect producer who can really bring that vision to life. They'll give their own creative input on the songs, the sound, and pretty much guide the whole, often super stressful process of making a record. And then, finally, we get to the launch. This is where the A&R rep becomes the main go-between, the bridge that connects the artist's creative bubble to the record label's, business machine. They become the artist's biggest champion inside the company, working with everyone from marketing to legal to make sure the release goes off without a hitch. So they find the talent, they help make the music, and they help get it out to the world. Sounds pretty simple, right? Yeah, well, this is where things get really tricky. Because right at the very heart of this job is a huge conflict, this constant balancing act between two really powerful and often opposing forces.
And this conflict actually has a name. The source material we're looking at calls it the mandate, and that word perfectly captures the core challenge. This is the problem that every single A&R professional has to try and solve every single day on the job.
And here it is, the two sides of that mandate. On one hand, you have the pure, simple passion for music. It's that drive to find something truly great, something unique, authentic, maybe even something that changes the game. That's the art. But then, on the other hand, you have the tough reality of commercial constraints. That's the pressure from the label to find hits, to meet sales goals, and to keep up with what's trending. And that is the commerce.
This quote, which is from an essay assignment in that same university course, just sums it all up perfectly. Their entire job is to try and reconcile these two things. How in the world do you champion an artist you truly believe in, while also making your bosses happy by hitting those financial targets?
So, what you really need to understand is that this isn't just a job, it's a constant, high-stakes negotiation. Every single decision, from who to sign to what song becomes the first single, it's a massive bet placed right on that thin line between creative vision and cold, hard business reality.
Okay, so we know it's a tough balancing act for them, but why does this internal struggle even matter? Outside of the record label offices, how does this whole thing actually affect us, the people who are just listening to the music? Because here's the kicker. Almost every song that breaks through to the mainstream, every track you stream on repeat, every artist that just blows up is the direct result of an A&R rep successfully walking that tightrope. They fought for the art they believed in, but they also managed to convince the business side that it could be a hit. The actual sound of the music you hear every day is literally shaped by this conflict.
So, that kind of leaves us with one final question. If that was you, if you were in their shoes, with your career on the line, where would you draw that line? Would you sign the quirky, brilliant artist who might only sell 1,000 copies, or would you go with the trendy, marketable act who's basically a guaranteed hit? It's a tough question, and the answer is what defines the music we all listen to.